Good afternoon. It is 4 p.m. and we're just waiting for a quorum of supervisors on the dais, and then we will reconvene the meeting.
Just do one, too.
Good afternoon again. It is 4:05, and we are reconvening this meeting of the Board of Supervisors. I will ask our clerk, hello Colin, to take roll to establish the continued presence of a quorum.
All right.
Pleasant
Supervisor Arenas is absent currently. Supervisor Chavez.
Here.
Present. Supervisor Smidian is absent. Vice President Lee.
Present.
Present. And President Ellenberg.
I'm here as well.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
I would ask those of you who are able to do so to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first item of business this afternoon is to consider a number of recommendations relating to certificates of appreciation, commendations, and proclamations. May I have a motion to approve all items under 7?
So moved. Chavez.
Let's vote, please.
Supervisor Chavez.
Yes.
Vice President Lee.
Yes.
President Ellenberg.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we get to the fun part of the presentations. And it is my honor, I'm going to come up there to make the first proclamation of August 2024 as National Breastfeeding Awareness Month in Santa Clara County. And I believe we have someone here from Mother's Milk Bank that's going to accept the commendation. Was that a wave? I can't see so far. Come on up. Okay. August is National Breastfeeding Awareness Month. As a mama who successfully and joyfully nursed my own 3 children, though not without challenges and setbacks, I am very proud to present this commendation today. National Breastfeeding Awareness Month raises awareness to address barriers to maternal milk feeding faced by families across the United States and around the world. Breast milk is nearly magic. It is perfectly formulated with the proper volume of proteins and vitamins for an infant's health and well-being, and evolves in nutritional benefits as the infant grows. At Santa Clara County, we understand the importance of breast milk for infants and provide accommodations for lactating parents so they can pump and store that precious resource for their infants. Not all workplaces afford either a place or time for lactating parents to pump and store milk, and this leads to great inequities in which some parents are able to sustain breastfeeding-only diets for their children, while others must supplement or abandon breastfeeding entirely because it's incompatible with the demands and logistics of their workplace. Every parent who wants to do so should be able to choose this option for their infant. I'm also proud that Santa Clara Valley Hospital System is designated as baby-friendly by the World Health Organization and the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, the basis of which is anchored by the promotion of successful breastfeeding. For a variety of reasons, some new parents are unable to produce a sufficient supply of breast milk to meet the needs of their infants, while others have overabundant supplies that their own infant cannot possibly consume. To help address this imbalance, the county collaborates with community organizations that work to bridge these gaps and raise awareness without stigmatizing either over or under production of breast milk. Mother's Milk Bank, the organization that will accept this accommodation, is a champion in this space. Since their inception, they have saved and nurtured the lives of thousands of infants in need. Thank you to Mother's Milk Bank for all you do, and thank you to all of the individuals and organizations that work to expand education about and access to successful breastfeeding. I would now like to invite Angelica Rojas, Community Outreach and Marketing Manager, and the rest of you whose names I don't have, but you're very welcome to be here, to accept the proclamation and share some words with us, as well as with everyone on behalf of Mother's Milk Bank and WIC.
Good afternoon, everyone. Members of the County Board of Supervisors and all the members here present. As we gather here today with Mother's Milk Bank, members of the Santa Clara Valley Breastfeeding Task Force, and the WIC program, we are honored to proclaim this month with all of you. Together, we support, promote, and protect breast milk and celebrate the bond between mother and child, promoting the health and well-being of our youngest community members who deserve the best nutritional start in life. And when mom's own milk is not available, we raise awareness together on the critical importance of safe donor breast milk to help save the lives of premature babies in the intensive care units, medically vulnerable babies, foster, adopted, and babies born to surrogacy throughout Santa Clara County and nationwide. I want to share a glimpse of what we as organizations and task forces work in this county. For 50 years in our wonderful Santa Clara County, we have had the privilege of having our very own milk bank, where we collect, process, and distribute safe donor human milk for all hospitals within the country and beyond. Within the county and beyond. We are proud to share that we are the oldest milk bank in the country out of 32, and we have distributed over 16 million ounces of breast milk and have fed over 32 million babies nationwide. We support families in need, and we celebrate our heroes who generously donate their human milk. They are our mothers, our milk warriors. For over a decade in our Santa Clara County Breastfeeding Task Force, we work together countywide to bridge the gaps of breastfeeding by helping employers provide proper and supportive lactation accommodations in the workplace, helping hospitals become more breastfeeding friendly, and supportive policies to provide direct support services to moms, initiating breastfeeding and donations, and providing education and seminars virtually and in person to all healthcare professionals. Thank you.
We are all going to turn our backs to you for a moment for the photo op. Please bear with us, and I invite my colleagues to join us. That was beautiful. Is that okay? I'll just go to town. Here, why don't you hold that with Right, I'm now pleased to invite my colleague, Supervisor Lee, to make a number of presentations. Item 8B, I should note, is being held to the September ceremonials meeting.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I just want to say thanks, and I really have the pleasure as the Vice Chair of the Health and Hospital Committee to present the commendations to 4 distinguished doctors from the Santa Clara Valley Healthcare. At this time, I would like to following doctors to join me at the podium. Dr. Harry Morrison, Dr. Pooja Sharma, Dr. Scott Benninghoven, and Dr. Yvonne Kranis, who I don't believe is here today. Please come up.
Dr. Coronis is in Alaska, so I'll accept her plaque.
He's in Alaska. She's in Alaska. Okay,
That's right.
got it. Cool. These doctors have played a key role on the Medical Leadership Council. So what is the Medical Leadership Council? This MLC plays a crucial role in ensuring high standards of quality and safety in the clinical care within Santa Clara Valley Healthcare. It fosters collaboration between medical staff, administration, aligns clinical practices with organizational goals, and promotes continuous improvement in outpatient care. The MLC oversees medical staff operations at specific hospital sites, working with the enterprise president of medical staff and the enterprise medical examiner executive committee. The key duties of these include reviewing approving the clinical policies, evaluating practitioner privilege applications, establishing professional standards and objectives, approving professional development plans of new or underperforming practitioners, and recommending quality improvement measures, and also overseeing the disciplinary actions of any medical staff members if needed. The MLC is essential for the effective management and delivery of clinical services within our Santa Clara Valley Healthcare, and we are recognizing them as follows. Dr. Morrison, as the president of the SCVMC Medical Leadership Council and the enterprise medical staff, Dr. Morrison played a crucial role in integrating O'Connor Hospital and St. Louis Regional Hospital into the SCVH. He has provided exceptional care as an interventional radiologist since 2001 and demonstrated outstanding leadership. Next, we have Dr. Pooja Sharma. Dr. Sharma led the integration of O'Connor Hospital into SCVH and served as a president of the Medical Leadership Council. She has been a dedicated internal medicine physician at O'Connor Hospital since 2014, guiding the hospital through significant challenges, including the COVID-19 pandemic. And we also have Dr. Scott Benninghoven. And Dr. Benninghoven was instrumental in integrating the St. Louis Regional Hospital into the SCVH and served as the president of the Medical Leadership Council. He has provided exceptional surgical care for over 30 years, contributing significantly to the healthcare system. Last but not least, and she's in Alaska, is Dr. Yvonne Kranis, who has been a key figure in integrating the medical staffs of SCVMC, O'Connor Hospital, and the St. Louis Regional Medical Center into the SCVH. As a plastic and burn surgeon at SCVMC for over 18 years, she has shown remarkable leadership and dedication. A round of applause for her remotely. I just want to say thank you so much for all your additional leadership and oversight, and congratulations. And at this time, I'd like to invite my colleagues to also join us for a photo. Come on up.
And now County Executive James Williams will present items G, H, and I.
If I can ask Eloy Molina to come up, please.
You don't get any cash?
Eloy Molina is retiring from the county after more than 45 years. Of excellent public service. Eloy began his county career in 1979 as a janitor in Environmental Services Department at Santa Clara Valley Medical Center. Throughout his tenure, Eloy has made a significant impact, setting a record as the longest-serving employee in the Environmental Services Department. He spent the majority of his career working the PM shift as janitor in the Urgent Care Department at Valley Medical Center. His commitment to maintaining a clean and safe environment has greatly supported patient recovery and overall health care delivery. His positive attitude and strong work ethic made him a beloved member of that team, and he's highly regarded by his peers and has played a key role in boosting morale within the Urgent Care Department at VMC. Eloy's work has ensured a safe and welcoming environment for both patients and staff, reflecting a lifetime commitment to public service and the well-being of our community. Thank you, Eloy, for your 45-plus years of dedicated public service to the county and our health system
You're very
and to our
welcome.
community. And you will be
Actually,
profoundly
it's
missed.
46 and a half years.
46 and a half, okay. Well,
Thanks for the help.
yeah, they don't give us all credit for the extra help time, right?
I know. But PV code, they do. Okay.
Do you want to share any words?
Yeah, this is my first public speaking here, so bear with me. I want to thank everybody here, families and friends, for being here today. And I do appreciate, I worked for Valley Med for many years, and I learned a lot. Now, I work around doctors and nurses. I got a lot of feedback, positive things to do, and I really enjoyed it. And that's all I got to say. And
I'll ask the board to come join me for a photo, and I don't know if you want to have your family come for the photo too, or?
family like to come in for a photo? No? Friends, family? No? I thought that in 45 years he gets $1,000 cash.
5 years. 5 more years.
Thank you for the presentation. Appreciate it. See, like I said, this is the first public speaking. Thank you.
If Vicky Machado could come up. Ernestine Victoria Machado, better known as Vicky, began her career with the county as extra help in December of 1973, becoming a permanent employee July 1st of 1974. Vicky started in Debs as an eligibility worker, but her goal was to be a social worker. In May of 1977, she became a social worker 2 in the multicultural unit, and in 1979, attained a Master's of Social Work degree and promoted to Social Worker 3. Vicky remained dedicated to education and attained her licensed clinical social worker credentials in 1982. In 1994, after the end of the multicultural unit, Vicky was assigned to DFCS, working with families in the process of reunification. After 29 years as a Social Worker 3, in 2008, she promoted to supervisor over what's now the Dependency Wellness Court Unit, a successful program working with families with substance use issues. A highly respected employee, Vicky has earned consistently high praise from the department, courts, legal partners, and community partners for her child welfare expertise. In addition to being an expert witness in court, her well-written court reports have served as training examples for her colleagues. Known for her experience and poise during crises with no stress or panic, and seeking to create solutions in the face of complex challenges, Vicky takes these challenges on with tact and compassion, serving as a role model and mentor to others. As an advocate, Vicky focused on parental involvement and the link between birth families and resource families to maintain connections and supportive relationships with children when they move between homes. Brave and respectful, Vicky is fearless and graceful in her leadership, patient and supportive of colleagues. She's a model of excellence, humility, compassion, and the commitment to each of us becoming the best professional and personal selves we can be. Thank you, Vicky, for a half-century of exemplary service to our community. And thank you for your dedication to social work and for giving so much of yourself.
Thank you.
You want to share yours?
I'd like to share a few thank yous. First of all, thank you to the board for this commendation and for their supportive work at DFCS. It's hard work, controversial work, and it works out best when we all work together. Also, I want to thank, I have my coworkers here, several of my workers from my unit, and really it's these people that have kept me going all these years. Wonderful people work at DFCS, and I have wonderful colleagues, I've had great managers, and I've had one great unit after another, and many of my people have promoted. So thank you all. Your camaraderie, your support, and your sense of humor has really gotten me through all these years through those rough spots. And I'd also like to thank our union, SEIU. They've been great advocates for us. We've got a couple of stewards here that are my friends and coworkers. And you know, the union has really helped support good working conditions and services to our community. So I also thank SEIU. And I wanted to give a personal thank you to the board for support for an organization very dear to my heart, POSU, the Portuguese Organization for Social Services. The county contracts with them for services to immigrant seniors in East and downtown San Jose. Wonderful support, and they do great work, so thank you. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my husband for all of his support and patience all these years. And Joe, I am retiring. So thank you all. Thank you all.
I'd ask the board to come join me for a photo, and if you want your husband or anyone else to come up for the photo.
And everybody else who wants to come.
Thank you, congratulations. Thank you, my goodness.
I'd like to invite Lawrence Michael to come on up. Lawrence Michael Arias recently retired from the county after dedicating more than 29 years of faithful public service, bringing leadership and technical expertise to many roles. Lawrence Michael's career began in 1995 as a cashier in the Department of Revenue. In 1997, he promoted to Revenue Collections Clerk, and in 1999 became an account clerk lead in cashiering. He later switched fields to IT and became a mini computer operator. Lawrence Michael is known for his admirable work ethic and exemplary performance, recognized through many promotions. In 2019, he became a business systems analyst at DTAC through the TSS Financial and Employee Systems team. He's worked diligently, notably through COVID, supporting collection systems and operations, working long hours to support legacy collection system cubes while keeping collection processes operational for the county. Lawrence Michael's been instrumental in providing insights and expertise toward conversion and implementation of a new collection system. He's a team player who's helped DTAC in collecting more than $350 million annually, revenues that touch our residents by supporting critical county services and operations. Lawrence Michael's demonstrated county core values of ethical conduct, honesty, integrity, respect for others, and fostering collaborative efforts in support of the county's mission. Active in SEMA, he served as vice president of the executive board of our mid-managers union. His colleagues in TSS, DTAC, and at SEMA will miss his leadership, experience, and laughter, as well as his amazing work. On a personal note, Lawrence Michael is a professional actor and member of Actors Equity Association. Since his teenage years, he's had a passion in theater and has performed all around the country, including Manhattan's Times Center. One of his proudest acting accomplishments is being part of Golden Mountain musical that chronicled Chinese railroad workers' experience in the late 1800s. Lawrence Michael is a devoted husband and parent to his pa babies. Thank you, Lawrence Michael, for your amazing and deeply appreciated career and for all your service to the broader county organization through your work with SEMA as well.
Thank you, everybody. The plan was always to retire at 55, and I've been joking to everybody that I just wasn't OCD enough to work for 30. In fact, my husband just joked that, your other honored colleagues celebrating 45 and 50 years are going to look at you and go, get back to work. But I did want to say, when I first started, from friends, I learned about this Jewish concept of tikkun olam, which is making the world a better place. And that's really why I stayed with my family, DOR, which later became DTAC, because I recognized how I was making the world a better place in my own way, helping our community. And even though we were a collection agency, I realized that we were there to help them not just repay their debts, but to regain their dignity, which is, of course, very important to us. In the 29 years, I obviously want to thank my family, DOR, which later became DTAC, my extended family, TSS. I'd like to also thank the board, of course, James and Greta, everyone, as well as my unions, SEIU, where I was an assistant chief steward for many years before I ended up joining SEMA again as vice president. Thank you so much again for the wonderful 29 years. Now I hope to be able to embark on my dream of my next dream of fulfilling my dream as an actor. And I hope that I have made the world a little bit better in my last 29 years. Thank you.
Board to come join me. Anybody you'd like to call?
Yeah, I'd like my family to come up. Actually, I'd like my boss, Thanda, and Dora, if you're still here, and Anthony to come up as finance agency, and Robin as part of SEMA.
How extraordinary is it to be able to recognize over 125 years of service to this county organization? I mean, truly, just extraordinary, the people that we have here at the county. Let's have another round of applause for those people. We're now going to move on to our Employee Excellence Award presentation. And if I can have this month's recipients come join me up here in the chairs to my right and left. And this is the time of each month when we have an opportunity to recognize just a handful of our truly extraordinary public servants here at the county. And today we're going to hear Some inspiring stories from our colleagues at the Clerk of the Board, the Santa Clara County Library District, the District Attorney's Office, Technology Services and Solutions, the Sheriff's Office, Department of Aging and Adult Services, Fleet and Facilities Department, and Behavioral Health Services Department. So the way this works is I will call you up one at a time, read something lovely about you provided by your department, then you'll step behind me and you will get your certificate from President Ellenberg, and at the end, we'll take a group photo all together. All right, so we'll begin with Deepa Kamapali. We're thrilled to recognize Deepa today. Her exceptional dedication to her work is truly inspiring. She is brilliant, goes out of her way to help others, and exemplifies what it means to be an outstanding public servant. Deepa's critical thinking, vast knowledge, and experience in assessment appeals processes and procedures enable her to go above and beyond in providing customer service to applicants, the public, the assessor's office, the Department of Tax and Collection, and the Technology Services and Solutions Department. Deepa understands that property taxes and bills are deeply personal matters that affect taxpayers' lives. She navigates the complex and often obscure assessment and appeals processes with clarity, providing customers with clear and thorough explanations and anticipating their needs. Deepa meticulously investigates the details of assessments and appeals histories to fully grasp each situation and address inquiries with the utmost responsibility. Deepa manages her priorities with remarkable efficiency. She excels in her tasks and lead duties, communicates effectively, and maintains a successful relationship with the assessor's staff. Her positive leadership and unwavering attitude make her a standout employee for the County of Santa Clara. Thank you, Deepa. Tessie Perry. With an impressive tenure of 45 years, Tessie Perry has been a valuable part of the Santa Clara County Library District at Los Altos Library since 1973. Tessie started as a library page. Her dedication and hard work led her to promotion to the role of a library clerk. In this role, she consistently ensured everyone felt welcomed and supported. She is kind, collaborative, and encouraging with all her colleagues. When someone needs help with a project, Tessie is the first to volunteer. Her positive personality and humor create joy in the workplace. Her adaptability and eagerness to learn are evident in her outreach work. When the Los Altos Library acquired the Go-Go Biblio, an electric vehicle with books and library materials, Tessie was among the first to learn how to operate it. Her proactive approach expanded the library's outreach opportunities and set an example for others. Tessie's customer service skills are excellent. Patrons know her by name and compliment her for the positive experience she provides them. Her optimism and good cheer contribute to a warm and nurturing environment. Congratulations. Cordelia Willis. Cordelia has been a versatile member of the crime lab at the District Attorney's Office since 1998. She began her career in the Controlled Substances Unit, analyzing solid dosage drugs, and later moved to the Digital Evidence Unit, expanding her areas of expertise. Currently, she performs forensic audio and video analysis and cell phone data extraction and analysis, showcasing her diverse skills. Cordelia's academic journey is a testament to her dedication and passion for her work. She holds a bachelor's degree in mathematics and musical theater and has furthered her education with 2 master's degrees, one in mathematics with an emphasis in statistics and the other in forensic science. Cordelia's contribution to the DA's crime lab cannot be understated. In addition to laboratory casework and crime scenes, she coordinates bi-monthly CSI training for partner agencies and attorneys, hosts virtual tours for members of the community and schools, and compiles and authors the Crime Lab's annual report. Following a recent conviction in a first-degree murder shooting case, where she performed a video analysis of the scene, one prosecutor told Cordelia how incredibly lucky the community is to have her, praising her intelligence, ethics, and attention to detail. Thank you for your service. Rochelle Felden. Rochelle's a seasoned and dedicated IT project manager who, in her 21 years with the county, has led many transformative projects with the utmost skill and professionalism, achieving results that promote the mission of the county organization. Her accomplishments include critical projects for the Social Services Agency, specifically for the Department of Family and Children's Services, resource family approval, and families engaging in new interventions and community services. This work has been essential to key county initiatives designed to improve children's support services. Rochelle has also managed significant projects for the Department of Aging and Adult Services. She's a genuine leader who embodies innovation and flexibility and promotes interdepartmental collaboration while pursuing the highest standards of work. Her effective management and inspirational leadership have earned Rochelle the respect of peers, customers, and management. Rochelle is devoted to the County of Santa Clara's mission and values and is committed to excellence. Thank you, Rochelle.
Thank you.
Geraldine Fisher. Deputy Geraldine Fisher, who has served the Sheriff's Office for nearly a decade, has been critical to the success of the Sheriff's Youth Cadet Academy and acted as a trusted mentor to many cadets. Deputy Fisher started her law enforcement career as a police explorer before joining the Sheriff's Office in 2014 as a deputy sheriff. In 2021, she became an advisor for the Youth Cadet Academy. Over the past couple years, she has been the key staff person making the Academy a success. The Academy is a shortened version of the full-time Academy. Deputy Fisher was the lead recruit training officer for both academies, which run for 3 weeks at a time. She accomplished this while also working her full-time patrol shift for the headquarters division. Deputy Fisher is a role model to all Academy participants who have twice voted her the most inspirational Academy instructor. Her dedication to our youth is admirable and helps the county develop the next generation of law enforcement. Thank you for your... Golda Foley. Golda is a social worker, too, who cares deeply for the people she serves through the Department of Aging and Adult Services, taking on each case with a customized approach that respects the needs of everyone she helps. Golda uses her knowledge and experience to engage with clients in a way that honors their personality, culture, and lifestyle, as well as their clinical and physical needs. She's able to assess and connect with her clients in a way that is both personal and meaningful. Golda routinely receives compliments and praise from the communities she serves and works with. She respects the views and opinions of her peers while making space for creative dialogue, growth, and innovation. She's a leader for change, always looking to improve the well-being of those in her orbit. Golda's values as a social worker, evident in her daily interactions with peers and clients, reflect the highest ethical and professional standards. Thank you for your service. Yvonne Lee. Yvonne is an astute and diligent Program Manager 3 for the Behavioral Health Services Department who exemplifies public service. She leads a team that handles the department's communications with the Board of Supervisors, and they are voluminous, state and federal legislators, and other stakeholders. She's responsible for tracking state and federal legislation that affects the department and its clients. Yvonne's meticulous, timely, and respectful in her communications, which reflect the department's mission and values and fosters trust and collaboration among colleagues. Her work involves strict deadlines and requires her to interact with people at various levels of the county government and other entities. She's always calm and professional under pressure. She's an exceptional leader, a role model for members of the team, and an invaluable asset for the county and the community we serve. Congratulations. Emilio Manrique. Emilio is a stationary engineer for the Fleet and Facilities Department who provides skillful and professional service to colleagues at the Santa Clara Valley Medical Center. Emilio has shown tremendous flexibility and innovation when diagnosing and conducting equipment repairs throughout the Valley Medical Center campus. His honesty and integrity have made him a trusted voice on the facilities team. He fosters an environment of mutual respect among facilities colleagues and health system employees. He displays exceptional leadership qualities, especially during emergencies, when he coordinates effective responses and ensures smooth hospital operations. He's a good communicator, critical thinker, and problem solver who has made himself indispensable on the VMC campus. Thank you so much, Emilio. Let's give a huge round of applause to all of our award recipients. Ask the board to come join me, and we're going to turn around and take a group photo.
I believe all that is left is to adjourn this meeting, go out and celebrate.